Alrighty, hey everyone, happy Monday, and it was a happy Monday after all. Bitcoin's up, miners were up even better than Bitcoin, which is nice to see. So we're having the rally continue here after having a couple of days down last week, but it looks like October is getting an early start. At least right now it looks like it. We'll see what tomorrow happens, the last day of September, and then we're going into October, going forward from there. We have a bunch of good news stories on Bitcoin, also on Bitcoin miners, and I don't know if I should really call them Bitcoin miners anymore. I may need to call them like AI infrastructure miners, something like that. But we'll get into all that. There wasn't any much news as far as miner news, except for BitDigital, I think, was the only one. But we'll get into Cipher, Iren as well. There's some good news on them. Price targets increases from analysts. And then we'll get into Q&A. So should be pretty short and sweet, as always. You guys know the drill. Not financial advice, return only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what we got going on with Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin had a second day that did pretty good. Sunday was a nice day. Monday turned out to be a pretty good day as well. So we were up 1.93% on Bitcoin here. We closed at 114,365 and 7 cents in all. We're up on the new day as well for the last day of September here on Bitcoin. We're up just a little bit right now as it is, up 0.19%. Markets were in the green today. Ethereum, I believe, was also in the green today as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I saw that was up in the morning, then I didn't really check it, so I was guessing it was up, and it sure enough was up 1.79%, closed at 4,217 and 25 cents. Miners, oh my gosh, they had a great day today. It was nice to see, nice bounce from where we were last week. Bitfarms was up 11.02%, so kind of rebounding a little bit, about maybe a quarter of the way where it got to the top at 360, so it's at 282 right now. BitDeer had a good day as well, 6.52% on that one. Kango was up finally after having, 4 days in the red here, was up 6.97%. Cipher had another great day, up 10.29%. That one's kind of quarter of the way back to where it was, right at a high of 1554. Cleanspark had a really good day. It got back all the losses that it had on Thursday and Friday of last week, and even closed higher than it closed on, I think this was Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday closed at 1391. Today actually closed higher at 1487 here, so that one was up huge, 14.74% there. CORZ was up 2.85%. Hive was up nicely as well, 9.38%. Hut 8 was up 5.08%. Iren was up nicely as well, 9.72%. Getting some of those losses from Friday. Mara was up also a lot. It actually outperformed everybody here, I think. It was up 15.69%. So that one's bounced back and regained all the losses it had over the last 3 days. That was nice to see. Riot was up also nicely today, 11.81%. This thing is, trying to break that 52-week high here of $20.13. Wolf was up 7.11%. That one's also kind of battling with this kind of barrier at 1179, something like that. It's touched it a couple times here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there. I think eventually it will probably break through that barrier right now, as it seems there. Bitcoin holding companies had a pretty good day as well. Microstrategy was up 5.62%. Microstrategy did buy some more Bitcoin there, but that one was up. Galaxy was up nicely, 10.88%. Block was up a little bit, 2.33%. Coin was up decently as well, 6.85%. Metaplanet was up 8.61%. Exodus up 1.54%. Nexon was up a little bit, 0.52%. Semler was up 3.29%. Phoenix was actually down 4.17%. And GameStop was up almost 3% there. Now on the small miners here. Up for the most part, best performing out of those guys was DMG here for some reason. I'm not sure actually what happened there. I think people are just looking for undervalued companies, and DMG does fit that bill there, being a much smaller miner. They were up 28.28% there. Canon was also up nicely today, 11.4%. That was nice to see. The Bitcoin ETF, or the Bitcoin miner ETFs, were up huge today. BitQ was up 6.98%. BKCH was up 9.22%. DAP was up 6.12%. WGMI 8.86% today. Definitely taking back some of those losses that they had the last couple of days. That was awesome to see. Ethereum holding companies, BMNR was up nicely, 5.39%. BitDigital was up also nicely, 8.47%. BTCS up 5.29%. Game was up a little bit, 0.62%. And SBET was up 7.88%. Some of the other companies that we track here, ABTC was up a little bit, 0.61%. You guys know where I stand on that one. I think that one's kind of overvalued right now based on what they have. We'll see what transpires going forward with that one. Wi-Fi, BitDigital's company there as well, was up 17.13%. Was there any news on that one as far as why was going up? That was 3 days ago, so nothing really recent here. Just re-rating here, looks like a little bit on that one. Open was down 6.92%. That one is Eric Jackson's baby there. Oracle was down 0.25%. Nibius was up 2.34%, and Soluna continues to slide here in the days here. It was down 8.36%, right? Again, with Soluna, you got to do your due diligence on that one, figure out what it is and what it isn't. Right? Do they have the potential there going forward, and can they sustain that? So I think it just got a little bit overhyped here, and it's definitely having a pullback here. We'll see where it actually lands as far as price on it, right? It's still not anywhere near the 52 weeks highs that it has reached here. Going back to, let's see here, September, it was actually higher at that point still. And November was higher at 466, so it hasn't even gotten back up to there. So it seems like a little pump. I mean, we had a pump here in July. We had a really good pump here right now. We'll see where it actually comes back down to. We saw last time it actually came back down lower. So be cautious on that one. If you have good profits, do some due diligence on it for sure. All right, miners after hours here right now. If we look at those guys, they're up a little bit for the most part. Bitdeer's up just a little bit, 0.4%. Bitfarms is up 2.48% in the after hours right now. Cipher is up another 1.34%. Cleanspark here is up almost 2%, 1.95%. CORZ Scientific is down actually 0.46%. Hive is up a little bit, 0.52%. Hut 8 is up 1.16%. Iren is actually down now. Let's see if is it down? Yeah, down 0.7, so not much. Down a little bit. Mara is down 0.27. Riot Platforms is up 2.38%. TeraWolf right now is up a little bit, 0.78%. And Soluna in the after hours is down another 1.5%. So like I said, be careful with that one, right? You all are, big boys and girls. Do your due diligence on that one. All right, so that's it for that. Bitcoin here for the month or the quarter here, Q3 is up 7.22%. Obviously, having a nice 2 days in a row where we're in the green helped out tremendously here. I was a little fearful that we might actually end up in the red here for Q3 and in September as well, but it looks like we might actually be in the green here. So for September, we're up still 6.05%, which is good, right? It's not great, but overall, when you look at September here over the last number of years, 12 years or so, we can see that September has historically not been a great month here. So if we can squeak out a green month in September, that is a win nonetheless here. October, on the other hand, is a much better month for us here. That's why they call it Uptober. The last year's going backwards is we were up 10%, 28%, 5%, 39, almost 40%, 27, 10%, down 3%, up 47%, up 14, up 33, down 12, almost 13, and up 60. So overall, it should be a good month for us here going forward in October, along with November for the most part. We'll see where we end up here once we actually get into October as well. So those are all looking good. Bitcoin ETF inflows for all the ETFs. We had a nice day of inflows, 564 million here without even BlackRock reporting. So that should probably push us over probably $750 million, I'm guessing there, in inflows for it when it does play out. And then, so that's looking good there. We finally broke that 2-day losing streak here, which we had 2 days in the red, 1 day in the green, 2 days in the red again. So hopefully that breaks for us going forward here. All right, some of the good news that we do have here. Iren. Macquarie raises price target to $55 with outperform rating. Iren price targets table updated here. Here's the current price, 45.46. Average price, 51.58. And these are all of the price targets here from all the analysts. So you got McGuire at 55, Compass Point at 50, JP Morgan should be null and void, $24. Like, what the heck are they thinking there? Mizuho Securities, $75, Bernstein, $75, Arte, $78, Roth Capital, $82, Canaccord Genuity, $42. This one looks like it might be date. Oh, that's actually pretty recent. Okay, $42. BTIG, $32. I think that's also pretty low there. HC Wainwright, $36. Those guys need to update those. Those are going back to August there. Cantor Fitzgerald, $41. B. Riley Securities, $29 as well. But that's also old, about a month old. So we need new price targets from those guys as well. Overall, the majority of the new ones coming in here are 70s and higher, 50 even. So we still have some room to run here on the current price targets for Iren, which is great. And Iren did really well today also, so I'm sure you guys are happy. I'm happy about it. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm sure you guys are too. This on Bitcoin here. So just in world record holder for having the highest IQ says Bitcoin is the only hope for the future economy. Therefore, I have converted all of my assets into Bitcoin. Well, if he's the smartest person in the world or highest IQ person in the world, it's taken him a long time to get on our side here, right? If he was that smart, he'd be in it since 2013 or even 2017 cycle. But nonetheless, he's in it. He's converted all of his assets into Bitcoin, which is great. I love seeing that. Next here is on Michael Saylor and Strategy. They have acquired another 196 Bitcoin for $22.1 million at $113,048 per Bitcoin. They now hodl 640,031 Bitcoin, acquired for $47.35 billion at an average price of $39,983. And it's great to see that they're continuing to stack here on Mondays. They probably do it over the weekend when there's maybe less volatility, but they are stacking nonetheless. So that's great to see here. That helps obviously get Bitcoin off the exchanges, get it off the OTC desk, and I love seeing that. Next here, FTX will distribute $5 billion in stable coins to users tomorrow, just in time for the Q4 and more rate cuts. This is the perfect storm for a parabolic bull run. Are you connecting the dots, right? So this is another thing that could possibly help out crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins, possibly the miners as well. Other avenues, whatever might be the ETFs, whatever it might not be. So that's $5 billion is going to be going back into the market for the most part, unless I would say a high percentage of that is going back into the market. There might be some people that are just going to be cashing out here after having to wait a number of years to get their cash back on that one. So that's good news. Next here, this is from Cipher. This was the space that was held with Cipher CEO, Tyler Page. This is just a breakdown of it, quick notes here on it. This was from, let's see who posted this. Investing, I guess, dollar cost average posted this. So here's some of the quick notes on that. Financial and project updates, 1.38 billion exercised from converts, right? So that was 7 times oversubscribed. Last week they reported 1.3 billion, I think it is, something like that, or 1.1, I can't remember what it was, 1.2, something like that. Let's see, it's going to be 1.7 billion to build Barber Lake, right? We knew about that. We were kind of guessing between 1.6 and 1.7, so we know that. Potential debt financing with Google as backstopper, obviously. We talked about that. The convert was a fantastic way to raise a lot of money at fantastic terms and raise a lot of it, right? That was also good. We now have a lot of capital on hand that was very cheap to get, which is also true. We are currently marketing 206 megawatts, 56 at Barber Lake for HPC, 150 megawatts available at Black Pearl. This is from Tyler Page there. 357 megawatts available right now at Odessa, and phase 1 Black Pearl for retrofit and conversion to HPC. Okay, that is new information there a little bit. 170 megawatts available in the next 2 years at Stingray and Reveille. Megawatts that are available is a very rare thing. That's why a lot of people are in touch with us. Okay, are in touch with them. Okay. We are currently marketing 206 megawatts, 56 Barber Lake. We covered that already. Outlook from them. We are actively looking at other deals for HPC AI, I guess, in our pipeline. We are also looking to acquire other sites. That's good news, right? Get more megawatts. And then market interest and demand. We have a lot of well-known names that are interested in several of our sites. So that's great to know. So potential deals will be coming from Cipher going forward here. Pace of deals interest remains a frenzy. That's also good to hear. And we have never had as much interest in the sites from an HPC perspective. Okay, so that's also really good, right? So we're seeing obviously the HPC AI part of it and just in general continue to be a hot topic. A lot of people are looking for megawatts, and obviously Cipher has them, Iren has them to a certain extent. Cleanspark also has them, Riot has them, Hut 8, BitDeer. Who else am I missing here? Bitfarms as well. Others that are getting in this space also, right? And then GPU investment strategy here. This is a take from Tyler Page there. We're actively investigating the idea of buying GPUs. Think about what Iren is doing here, right? We can run pilot programs with the 58 megawatt available at Barber Lake. We are very interested if the market is as robust as the stock market seems to think. We're not going to do it just because it seems trendy or because some stocks catch a bid from it. So AKA Iren, right? We need to see the terms. So they're referencing Iren there, I believe. We are actively looking, getting quotes, doing potential client meetings, and seeing what we can get on financing. So that's good. And if it makes sense for us, we have an awesome test set up to try it out, which is great to hear. I'd love to see him get into it and see if, Iren is like a unicorn that has gotten all these deals for HPC AI customers with their own CSP there. But if they can do it also, I think that's going to be good, right? So overall, it's great. So Outlook, we are actively looking at other deals for HPC in our pipeline, which is awesome. So really wanted to see that. That is the continuation there. And that's going to be really good setup for the stock going forward, right? Getting more deals, doing those things, getting more megawatts secured with other customers, and possibly getting more sites also with more megawatts. So, right, that's all great. I love seeing this. It's a big 180 from where we were last year with this, not only with Bitcoin miners, but companies that were trying to get into HPCI. So we're now seeing those fruits of those labors, I guess, come to fruit, which is nice. Because now the stocks are actually doing what we thought they were going to do with Bitcoin mining, but they're doing it because of HPCI. Nonetheless, they're doing it. So it was a lucky happenstance that we got into Bitcoin miners that had obviously huge pipelines for megawatts. And I'm really happy about it. I'm sure you guys are too, if you guys have invested in these guys a year or two ago. All right, so that's great news for Cipher there. Love seeing that. Next here, this is from HODL 15, Bitcoin seasonality. Right, this is the chart on Bitcoin seasonality here. October is usually a pretty good month here, up 19.46% on Bitcoin. November seems to be even better month, 43.74%. So at least the next 2 months should be really, really good for us. And then like you can see here, September historically has been a red month for us. So if we can squeak out a green on September, that's going to be great news for us. And then December, we'll see where we go. Historically, if we follow the 4-year cycles of Bitcoin, December would be like a down month for us. That'd be kind of the peak of where we would peak out at the Bitcoin price, and then we would actually start going downwards in price. But given that we have all this demand for Bitcoin, institutions, companies buying it, and everything else, I tend to still believe that we might be in an extended cycle, which we'll see where December comes in at. It might be actually better than what we're expecting here, but we'll see on that one. Okay, so that's great news here for the next 2 months at least. It should be really good for us. And then finally, our last one here is Cipher upgrades. All above $15 range. One more deal. We going $20 to $30 in October. Another upgrade below here. So this is from investing as well. Cipher mining price target raised to $17 from $7.50 at HC Wainwright. So I have Cipher right now with a deal between $15.30 and $22.95 here. So 17 is kind of right in the middle there of where I actually see them. Right. If we get another deal for them, well, then that will definitely change for us, and we could see them going up even higher in price at that point. But I think, I could be wrong, but I think if they start getting into their own HPC AI, where they buy the GPUs themselves and get customers that way, I think the stock will actually do better from that as well than just from the deals that they get for megawatts and co-location, things like that. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Right? We've seen it with Iren. Iren has done fantastically well here, and then we'll see if Cipher can obviously capitalize on that as well, and Cleanspark and potentially others also. All right. All right, that is it. That's all I got for you guys. That's the bullish stories. Oh, I probably should pull this up. Yeah, you guys can see this. Okay. I was going to say you guys can't see this. My screen is acting up again on me. But yeah, let's get into Q&A here, see what we got. Like I said, it's pretty short and sweet. Bunch of good news stories nonetheless, which is good. And then we'll see where we end up with Bitcoin here and the miners tomorrow, last day of September. All right, let's get into Q&A. All right, so that actually worked. The switch over. Let's see here. As always, questions. I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down, as always, with the questions here. So be patient there. All right. Okay. Let's see. John Kurt says, my portfolio minus miners is up 19 of the last 20 days, up even in S&P 500 down days. This time is very different and non-stopping until 2028. That would be awesome if it was not until 2028 that we have a downturn. Elim, question, does this rally have legs? Yeah, I believe it does. Let's see. John Kurt says, please explain the transformation in full. This is historic. Wall Street rarely has experienced this. Well, we don't know how long it's going to last, right? I mean, you're thinking it's going to last until 2028. I would love to see it last until that long, but we can't see that far into the future, right? We'll have to take it day by day, see where we end up at, and then look at the month, see how we did, look at how we did in the quarter as well, and go from there. But yeah, I mean, right now it is looking really, really good for us here on this. And a lot of it is the HBCI play. NG, hello, Seb. How would you play for Bitfarms? How would you play or pay? Currently holding 40,000 shares at $1.30. I think Bitfarms still is undervalued from where it should be. That's just my opinion there, right? Not financial advice. I mean, you kind of know where they are right now with their megawatts and what their megawatts potential is if they can get JPM, JPM? Not JPM, PJM market there for electricity. If they can get the additional megawatts they want to reach, a couple 1+ gigawatt of power, and then if they can build out their sites like they want to, if they can do that, then there's a lot more room to run here for Bitfarms. But that might not be until sometime maybe late 2026 into 2027 there. So if you're at 130, you get a better price on it than I do. Mine's $1.50 something on them. So that's really good. But as far as should you sell or hold, that's up to you to decide, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately. YK, Cleanspark had a good day. Yeah, they had a great day today. Emmett, if you have to divide your portfolio between Nibius, Iren, and Cipher, how would you do it? Oh, man. As always, not financial advice, but I would probably go higher into Iren and then like 50% Iren, 25% on the other two, something like that. All right, SK, question, if BTC goes to 150,000, how high Cleanspark can go? I mean, so from right now where we are, that would be what, 35% increase roughly? Yeah, roughly 35% increase. At that point, I would think Cleanspark would go at least right around 70% up at that point. We saw it today, Bitcoin being up only 2%, but Cleanspark was up 14%. So, I mean, it could still outperform even more on that. I think the HBCI play potential for them and the sites that they have around Atlanta, Georgia are really good. And if they can capitalize on it properly and execute on it relatively quickly here, that stock can definitely run up higher as well. All right. SK, do you think Bitfarms' bottom was around 250? It has been consolidating. Do you expect it to go up now? As far as, let me see here. Let me see. Take a look at the chart here really quick on Bitfarms really quick. Where's it at? Right up here. Bitfarms, right up top. Okay. So let's take a look at it here. Let's see if we got some support here around 252. This is kind of where we bottomed out, right? Right around this range here, looking back over here. I mean, there's some support over here for 252 going back. Let's see if we go far enough back on it as well. 252 right there. I mean, there's some support there. There's, I think, a little bit more support here around 275. We saw that as well. So I think we'll hold this line at least for now. We saw a huge rise in the RSI. I mean, the thing went off like a rocket. I mean, you can actually see on the chart here, it just went straight up. So a little pullback on it was healthy. I think it got things a little settled down. It's still, RSI is still pretty good there right now. It came back down below 70 here on the daily. On the weekly, it's come back down to below 70. It's gone up a little bit here today, but nothing major. Right, we can run higher on that one. So I think, yeah, like the 252 might be a near-term bottom here for it. We'll see on that one. All right, going back to Q&A. All right, Victor, question. At the current price, which miner is still undervalued? Cleanspark still undervalued, in my opinion. Bitfarms, Hive is still undervalued currently. Iren, I think, can also run up higher here. I haven't met a much higher price than where it's at right now. Cipher, I think, also could possibly go up higher from where it's at right now, a little bit more higher. And then Riot's come up on price here. Mara, I think, is still undervalued from where it should be. And there's still quite a few of those guys that are still probably undervalued, but the HBCI is leading the narrative here. All right, it's the SK. If there is any dip again, which miner would you invest in? So last week when we dipped, I bought more Cleanspark shares and more Bitfarms shares as well. If we get another dip here, and depending on how much we dip, I would probably look to getting into more of those guys there because I think that they're more undervalued. And then maybe getting into some more Iren and Cipher at that point. All right. Let's see, DeFi next week. Iren providing updates on production. They're usually a couple of days behind, right? Like 3 or 4 days. So if Wednesday's the 1st of October, yeah, they might not provide it until Monday. maybe, of next week. All right. Let's see, Jawa Dula, do you think these Bitcoin mining stocks will show another green day tomorrow, particularly Cipher and Riot? The way we're seeing things set up right now, it looks like it, but nobody has a crystal ball. I mean, right now they're in the green. We'll see where they come in tomorrow morning. What does Bitcoin do, right? Last day of the month here. We'll see. I mean, they can still run up a little bit more here. All right. Senkath, I recently took some profits on Cleanspark and Bitfarms. I'd really like to re-enter. What price levels should I watch for if there's a dip in the coming days? I mean, geez. For Cleanspark and Bitfarms, we talked about Bitfarms a little bit here. Cleanspark, let me see if we can zoom this in a little bit here for you guys, and you can see it. Cleanspark tends to like to run down to right around $9, somewhere around there. We've seen that happen plenty of times here. Let's see, we've seen it a couple of times where it came back down to that level. So I would say anything right now. Let's see, what other level do we like to be at? We'd like to go back to here, right around here, 1265. That would be another level that I would kind of keep an eye on as well. If we do dip, 1265 would be one that I would look at, and then the other one would be right around, $9, something like that, if we do dip that far. Right? So that's kind of where I would look at. But any dip that you get is a gift on these guys, especially if we're going into October here. So hopefully you had positioned yourself a little bit better before all this run up here, but if you can't, obviously buy the dips. Okay. All right, let's go back. Let's see, I'm just gonna say I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna say don't forget to take profits along the way, folks. This bull market is the final stages, in my opinion, for Bitcoin or for the HPCI plays. I don't know if the final stages of the bull market and Bitcoin yet, though. I think we might have an extended cycle. Let's see, DeFi bought more Cleanspark on Friday, have 10,000 shares so far. That's awesome. You're probably right around the same boat that I'm at this point. I have too many numbers in my head. I can't remember how many shares of each company I have with doing all the research on the companies and everything else. There's just too many figures floating in my head right now. Let me see here. Where am I at? Oh, where'd it go? There. On Cleanspark, I have, so I actually have you beat by 100 shares. I got 10,100 shares on them. All right. NG, will Bitfarms be able to do as well as Iren? The reason Iren is doing so well is because they are basically a cloud computing provider for customers, right? So they're becoming a little mini neo cloud, little hyperscaler right now, whatever you want to call it, whereas Bitfarms is leaning more towards right now co-location, kind of like Cipher is. And we'll see if they change their mind a little bit here. Like Cipher is kind of changing their mind a little bit into possibly getting their own GPUs and getting customers that way. Well, if Bitfarms does that as well. So the other part of it, you have to remember that Bitfarms has like 500 million shares, whereas Iren has around 200 some odd million shares. So there's a big difference on that. So that will also dictate how high the stock can go on it. Right? It can still go up plenty more, right? I mean, if it goes up, I don't think it'll go up to as high as Iren being 12, 13 billion right now that quickly. But if it goes up to, a couple $1 billion, it still has obviously quite a bit of more room to run. Okay. All right. More Tim. Franz Baker said that Reggie at JP Morgan removed his error on the 400 million capex for the 50 megawatts in Prince George. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. So he got some feedback from the community. So that's good to see. Obviously didn't change his price target though. All right. DeFi Cleanspark option bought January 2026 call week ago up 60%. These options will print at Cleanspark easy, $25 a stock by year end or more. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people doing really well with options, especially when the miners are running. That's definitely helping things out. See, Andre says, Seb, stop singling out Soluna. It's just ran up 700%. Let it take a breather. They just took 180 in the market cap. There's only 75 million. They have spent tons on the company already, yet you say be careful 6x. I say be careful because, well, look at their balance sheet. I mean, yes, they do have $100 million that they got in a it's not really a line of credit. I think it's a loan potential for there. But just the reason I say that is there's a reason why they were valued at only $30 million market cap, right? So just do your due diligence on it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be invested in it. I think I've said before, if you're going to invest in it, invest what you're willing to lose on it, and it could be like a lottery ticket. So, but the only thing that I'm not a big fan of is all the partnerships that they're doing. It muddies the waters a little bit there. All right, DeFi Iren 80 end of year. It's possible. I mean, what if they come out in a couple of weeks that they are buying more GPUs for more customers, right? The stock's going to go up at that point as well. All right. Shinshi, hey Seb, what is your TeraWolf price target again? How would you approach profit taking for rent? How would you well, if you have to pay rent and you're unemployed or something like that, not getting anything, then I would say, yeah, take some profits and pay the rent. As far as price target for TeraWolf, I don't think I have that one up. TeraWolf is not in my main sheet here. Let me see if I have it in my other sheet here really quick. I think I do. Miners quarterly, that should be the sheet there. Let's see. TeraWolf. I have TeraWolf. Let me see if I've updated the pricing on them. Okay, I don't have the data and put it in here for them. I don't know why, but I'm getting an error here for some reason. So I gotta look into this, see what's going on here. I'll show you this, guys. This is TeraWolf for the quarterly results. For some reason, I'm getting a bunch of errors here. I'm not sure why. So I'll look into that, see what that would be and where I would actually place them in. Plus, I have to probably update the deal with the fluid stack deal that they have now. I haven't updated that in here. So I need to do that as well. I just noticed that. So not sure. All right, let's go back here. All right, Victor, question. Is it possible the money might flow into Cipher more being cheaper than Iren? That I don't know. Right, I think... I mean, you got to look at, yes, they got a deal with Fluid Stack for 10 years, $3 billion, right? $300 million a year, roughly. Iren, going at it alone right now, next year is looking to have about 500 million annual run rate, right? Without being constrained to somebody for 10 years. So I don't know if that's, yeah, I would look at it that way, right? Which one has maybe the more potential to go at it alone and become something massive here, which I think right now is on Iren. But Cipher getting a deal is great. If they get another couple more deals, that's going to pump the stock up even more there. But you're beholden to those deals for a number of years. All right. Let's see. Under says, don't be a hitter, Seb. You bash Selena. It's BS. I'm not going to be watching your channel again if you keep taking BS just because you are jealous. You missed out on 75. I'm not jealous on that one, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I'm surprised that they made it this far. Back in 2022, I thought they were going to go under. Right? They got a new CEO, things like that. The company has been improving, but it's still a very, very small market cap on that one. So, like I said, just be careful. I didn't say not to get into it or anything like that. Just be careful. And for those of you guys that have had huge profits, take some profits probably. Not a bad thing to do. Okay? And if you feel that that is BS, then I'm sorry, right? I can't please everybody. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on it. All right, Carl, just for the record, I stopped adding Bitfarms at $1.78, added between 98 and $1.78, and have 250,000 shares. I have exit of strategy. Okay, that's awesome. Since says, Andre, get over your feelings. Let's see. AJ, your target, Iren, Riot, and Cleanspark in October. In the next month, where will they go? I have no idea, right? I'm thinking they're going to go up higher. Where will they end up in October? I really do not know at this point. Okay, Andre says, Seb didn't like Wolf either because he didn't make any money on it. It's not because I didn't make any money of it. It's not why I didn't like it. I didn't like it for a number of reasons. And most of the reasons were operations. I don't like the fact that the CEO there said that they're not going to dilute shares to pay off the debt that they had, which I said I would be in favor of them doing that actually. And they actually ended up doing that anyways. So it's kind of like, why go out there and be so eminent? I mean, he got into an argument with Anthony, if you guys recall that, going back, this is back basically a year or something, where he got in Anthony's face about dilution and the debt and things like that. And then they did it anyway. So it's kind of like, okay, well, that's a little trust loss there. So I wasn't a big fan of that. And yeah, I mean, but they, got a great deal. I think the thing that helped him out is having, was it Stanley Druckenmiller getting involved in there, taking a position. I think that might have helped get some contacts for them to help out potentially. But yeah, that's awesome, right? They did a great thing. I wish no ill intent to anybody that got into Wolf. I'm happy that you guys got into it, and I didn't see what you guys saw. It happens. See, Andre says, Seb only likes Cleanspark, Iren, and Bitfarms because he owns them and wants to pump his own bags. Well, I also didn't like Mara. Mara hasn't done that great. Haven't really liked Riot. Riot's kind of doing a little bit better now, but still don't really like what they're going on there. So I just give you guys my thoughts. I mean, you guys can follow or don't follow my thoughts. You guys are here to make your own decisions, right? And if you got into Wolf, congratulations. If you got into Soluna, congratulations there as well, right? I'm not going to be able to hit 100 all the time. Shinshi, he doesn't cover those that don't provide data, as it will be unfair comparison. He spoke about it many times in the past. I have, yeah. All right, Victor, is Cipher diluting at the moment? They might be diluting a little bit, right? They got $1.3 some billion in convertible notes. They needed about $1.7 billion to build out. So there's a pitfall or shortfall between those two figures there. They will have to dilute something, dilute some shares in order to get the difference there. All right. DeFi says Soluna is very risky, but if team executes well, I think this will blow any miners in price performance. I have 10,000 shares, so right in. I wish you all the best on that one, right? I hope they do execute well and kill it, and you guys are able to make 10,000% gains, right? If that works out. So I'm happy for you guys if you guys did. Let's see. Andre, see, he's pumping Cipher now because he owns Cipher. I pumped Cipher before I owned it. I pumped Cleanspark when it was, like $1. Pumped Iren when it was less than probably $5 as well. All those things. And I didn't get into it much later on as well. Right? I look at the metrics on these things. Shinshi, Andre, you must have joined recently. Andre's been in and out sometimes. DeFi, what's the update on Cleanspark? Which miners can we compare to? What's the update on Cleanspark? I mean, there's no update on Cleanspark other than Cleanspark possibly, trying to quickly get into HPC AI. That's basically the update that we do have here. R2519, are you considering any other AI plays? Resolve, AI, Rich Tech, Robotics, Big Bear AI, are a few worth looking at. I've covered Big Bear a couple of months back. Talked about them a little bit. I haven't really seen what they're doing lately here. My capital is right now and deployed in the miners that I do have here. We'll ride that out and see where they go. After that, right, when we take profits and sell out of these things, we'll start looking into other things that we want to get into right now. But right now, my attention is purely focused on, all these miners here. Tom Harrison, Seb, the fact that you said the other day American Bitcoin is overpriced, can that screw things up for HUT? How would that screw things up for HUT? I know that they're obviously a large shareholder of American BTC, but I just don't know how that. I don't know how that would mess things up for HUT 8. Obviously, maybe on the valuation side of things for when they report it, maybe. But other than that, I just don't know how. And maybe I'm just thinking about this the wrong way. Stephanie says, no. Okay, so yeah, I just don't see how that would be. Let's see, Gary says, Seb is looking pretty amazing. He called Iren to finish the bull market at the end of 2025 in $70, $80. None of those rude people calling his name in April have come back to apologize. I appreciate that, Gary. Yeah, I mean, but that was based on I've got to be honest, that was based on Bitcoin going up, right? Which hasn't really played out, but it has played out with the HPCI narrative, which has been great. So a win is a win nonetheless. I'll take it. All right. DeFi, Cleanspark, any update on HPC? No update there. Which miners can we compare HPC computing power to for Cleanspark? As far as power, yeah, I mean, you got Bitfarms there. It's comparable, somewhat comparable megawatts. Cipher as well. Cipher's got more megawatts in the pipeline here. Who else? That's roughly right around there. I would say maybe Riot. Riot's Riot's 1.7 gigawatt total, I think. So they got a little bit more than Cleanspark there. Okay, Andrew says, I never heard someone say be careful about a stock so many times in 2 minutes. Clearly, he is a hater of Soluna. It has 2 gigawatts pipeline of power, 1 gigawatt of power ready to go, only worth 75 million. Well, why is it worth 75? So that's my big thing. Why is it worth 75 million, right? If it was that well-run company and everything else, they would have huge revenues. I mean, look at the revenues. Revenues have been declining for them quarter over quarter here. So that's why I'm saying be careful with it. That's the only reason I'm saying it, right? Just do your own due diligence. Look at the numbers for the quarterly results. See how they stack up. Look at the cash balance, the debt balance, all that stuff. Look at that. And that's just why I'm saying, right? If you're in profits, right? I mean, it's run up huge. Congratulations. But, on something like that, I would probably take profits. That's just me, though. All right, guys, still waiting for Bitfarms 10. I'm hoping Ben has some real announcement before end of year. I don't know if we're going to get to $10 by the end of the year. I'd be happy if we get to $5, $6 on that one. That'd be great. Let's see. Andre says, yet WPU. PU. Not sure what that means. S is possible peak November and then 18 months of collapse. I don't think so, but we could be wrong. We'll see. Stephanie asks, Andre, why are you in here? He's just here to give me a little crap. That's all. It's all good. DeFly Seb, Soluna is worth a dabble here. Can you look into this further? They are catching a HPC narrative, and even with the ATM announcement, they are only down 6%. I looked into a little bit today. I read some posts from people on X as far as their due diligence. And some are seeing the same thing I am, kind of be cautious, right? They're still keeping an eye on it. Others are, going all in on it. So, just look at the quarterly results on that one. That kind of shows you everything you can see there. Look at the deals that they have done in the past. Those have been all with partners. I think they do have a deal with Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken here. That's happening for one of their sites there as well. So I think maybe that Galaxy name there is maybe helping things out with the stock price. But again, like I said, pipeline is a pipeline. It's not something that has been signed for. We got other companies that have, similar, they talk about pipelines, but those are, for the most part, pipe dreams until you actually get those things signed. And I see the same thing for Cleanspark. I see the same thing for, others as well. Pipelines are pipe dreams until you actually get those signed and contracted and you pay the deposits on those electricity connections there. So I don't like to go by pipelines. Yes, it's nice that they have something they're working on there, but we need to have those finalized. And then we can actually talk about those. All right. Let's see. Andre, Seb will pump nonstop no matter the valuation of his own bags. 13 billion for Iren. That's not a problem. You will be lucky if it doubles again this year. That's great. It doesn't have the potential of Soluna. Okay, that's your opinion there, right? So we disagree on that. And the reason, we disagree, right? It's not a big deal. I wish you the best in Soluna. I hope it goes to, $5 billion for you there. From where it's at right now, that'd be a huge return for you, right? I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on it. And maybe I am missing something. Nobody's perfect. Question, I agreed with him on Iren. I will be forever a Seb worshiper if his prediction of Mara over 100 for the end of the cycle is correct. I called him crazy on that one. My Mara prediction, I didn't have Mara prediction over 100, did I? Or maybe I did. I think I did at one point, right? When we were talking, yeah, you might have me on that one. Shichi, I can definitely see a positive peak in the November and December 25 as we have been running since April 2025. Okay. Todd, thoughts on the risk to reward ratio on DMG? The weekly just closed above the 200 MA at 30 cents of a person were to believe it can hit 0.9. The RNR is golden. Agree. DMG. Let's take a look at that one. Where is it at? Small miners. DMG. There it is. Okay, let's see how this thing has performed here really quick. So we are getting kind of like higher highs on it as time progresses, right? We go high, we drop down, we go higher, we drop down, we go higher. But it's still far, far away from where we were. Let's see here, 2024, May. We're looking at the weekly here. Let's see here, November. Where were we last? January, February. Going back here, September. So we're still lower than we were in September and October of last year. Kind of similar to Soluna, right? Same thing we saw there. Earnings here, let me see, what do they have here? Right, reported 8.5. I mean, that's not a lot of earnings, 8.5 million, 8.3 estimated. So it did beat that here a little bit. Let's see, more DMG financials really quick as well. Let's see, earnings really quick for revenue. Digital currency mining, 2014, 25 million. Let's see. Statements, we could probably look at that as well. I mean, you guys can take a look at it. But some of these guys are catching a bid because of what's going on in the space in general. You got companies with AI pumping like crazy. You got companies that are looking to get into AI pumping like crazy. And you got these smaller companies that people are looking at. Oh, these guys are miners. They have megawatts. Well, then maybe they can do the same thing. So you're seeing the same thing kind of happening here, right? They're running on sentiment more than on the fundamentals on some of these guys here. So that's why I say be careful. All right, let's go back here. All right, HB, question. With the massive gains in the past month, do you think whales have bought in? Well, the whales have been buying in for a long time. I mean, if you look at some of these guys here, the institutions' ownership in these guys is massive. So they've been buying in the whole time. Well, they've been also kind of manipulating them in the at some point as well. But they're turning things around here, it looks like, which is nice. Obviously, it's helping out some of these companies go up in price nicely. All right. See, Andre says, Iren has been great for me too. I found it at 275. It's done 20x now. You're lucky if it doubles again. There is other that can run much harder now. Okay, there might be, yeah. I mean, you might be right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Right, I don't have a crystal ball, so I only go by the fundamentals that I see in front of me. Now, if you are able to get the other ones, that's awesome. And I wish you all the best. All right, let's see. AJ, are you your target Iren, Riot, and Cleanspark in October? Yeah, I don't know where those things are going to end up. I do believe they're going to be up higher. Exactly where they're going to end up at, I don't know. But they are going to be higher. Shinshi, personally, I think the sector winner is Iren. Others may be a waste of your money. PIPO. No. Looks like it right now, but we just don't know, right? It's still early on days in this, so who knows? Let's see. Thank you so much for the super chat there. FYI, my name is a play on AI and the Canadian AI? AI. Is that what it is? AI? AI. I think that's what you're talking about. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for the super chat there. Sorry, man, Andre, calm down, dude. Seb's doing this to try and help you. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you can obviously interact with me. You can talk to me. You can, we can agree or disagree. Not a big deal. All right, DeFly, he won't look into Soluna. He will just bash because he's a hater of it. Better off him not even mention it if he has. Be careful with it every 5 seconds. Okay. Well, I only talk about when I talk about it, Soluna, but then when you bring it up, I talk about it at that point. But other than that, I just talk about it in the beginning when we do the performance of the stocks for the day. All right, S. Romney, if BTC hits 150,000, what do you think Cleanspark will be at? At that point, it should be up like probably 50-70% higher from where it's at right now. That's just a quick thought on it. But it could also do much better going forward if they start executing their HPCI goals, right? But whatever those might be. All right, DeFly, Andre bought Soluna at 60 cents. I'm not selling yet. The HPC narrative and market cap below 80 million. The team has been executing well. So I think this will be one of the best opportunities in the market. Do your own due diligence. Okay. It could definitely well be, right? I know it's way undervalued, and that's because, like I said, back in 2022, even in 2023, I thought they may not be around and may not make it here. But it is at least nice to see that they are doing much better with the current CEO that they have. They had a prior CEO, CEO's gone, the new CEO is in there, so they're doing better here, which is nice. See, Andre, it's worth 75, yet he cheerleads a company that's done 20x and is worth 13.5 billion because he owns 350,000 worth of it. Well, I cheerlead it because it's got a huge potential with it, right? They have 2 gigawatts available to them. Well, they could probably use up even more if they wanted to use up the Bitcoin mining side of things, but they have that available to them. Whereas the problem with Soluna is small company, right? Like you said, 75 million market cap. that is hard to get capital, that is hard to raise capital, and especially if you're going to need to build out data centers that are, all right, Iren or Cipher spending 1.7 billion on a data center, right? Where are they going to get the capital to do that? So that's going to be really, really tough for them, in my opinion, at least. I could be wrong on it, but that's why I'm just saying what I see. All right. Let's see. Ramani, Cleanspark CEO said they won't dilute till $20. Do you think they announce ATM again at 24, 25? I think the dilution is part of the convertible notes there, right? That's what I think he meant, where they won't dilute until $20, I think. Somewhere around there is when the converts actually get triggered, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And DeFi says, Seb will like Soluna once we hit 500 million market cap. If it has that, and I mean, I'll do some due diligence during the week here. Let's see what's going on it. And then I'll give you guys my honest opinion on it. But from what I've just read here, little tidbits of it and snippets, I need to do more research on it. All right, Tom Harrison, can DigiPower make a run to $10 a share if Bitcoin gets to 140, 150,000? DigiPower is also another one of those small miners there, right? Let me see here. What do I want to do? Close that. DigiPower, they are at 239 right now. Let's see here. Let's take a look at them on the daily here really quick. I mean, they've obviously come down here recently from 426, if we look at it. Right, they got a high of 426 here. They've come back down. The one thing that I found was interesting was that they were partnering with a small modular reactor company, right, to do a test site or something like that. That's really interesting to me. That part of it is interesting to me. But they're small, right? Their market cap, what's their market cap right now? If we look on that one, financials here, overview, what does it say here? The market cap, 180 million, right? So pretty close to where I think DMG's, what's DMG? DMG 63, so you got that one, DigiPower, Soluna, all kind of that same kind of small micro cap, I guess you could say, portion of it. Yeah, so I don't know. I do not know if it can get back to 10. I mean, I want you to do some more research on that one. In the past, when I was doing a lot of research on them, they were small. That's one of the reasons I got rid of them, actually. It's because they weren't growing as fast as I thought they should be growing. And I saw that as being a potential issue going forward for them if they weren't growing as fast as the network hash rate was going to grow. So that's kind of why I nixed them and put them in the small miner camp. I still have the sheet for them, but I just don't track as much as I used to. So I would have to look into that one as well. And it seems like you guys are looking for all these small, undervalued companies where you think they're going to have a huge run up here. Right? That's kind of like playing with penny stocks a little bit at that point. Which is not always, I've done that in the past, haven't worked out for me. Maybe it works out for you guys there. All right, talked about that one, let's see here. Let's see. Andre says, okay, I kind of got to chuckle out of this one. Doubt it clear he's a hater of it, and can't you tell by the way he talks about it? I've been watching him talk for long enough. He's just sour. I'm not sour at all. Right? I mean, I've held these stocks now for since 2022? Yeah, 2022 is when I started getting into these things. I've seen them run up. I've seen them run down. I've seen others go faster than others. That doesn't make me sour. It's just the market's the market. I'm not sour for anybody's gains or anything like that. I wish you guys all to be millionaires here. I wish you guys outperform me. I mean, that's my ultimate dream and wish for everybody, is do better than I have. It's my ultimate dream for my kids, is do better than me. It's not about hating because this thing's gone up and I didn't get into it. No, congratulations. I'm happy that you got into it at a much lower cost. You saw something that I didn't, whatever it might be. So let's see, Pete LG, tough crowd tonight. Ha, Seb. I appreciate your patience. No worries. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. Thank you. Andre, of course, everything he owns can run much higher, but anything he doesn't own, he is skeptical about and hardly talks about. I don't talk about all the companies, right? I mean, Soluna is one of those companies where I talked about it probably going back a year and a half now. I covered them, covered DMG, covered all those things, but I moved on from those because growth was just so small there. And again, like I said, the market cap reflects it, so it is what it is, right? But it's had a nice run up here, which is great. Michael, what is the bullish news. Press Vance after the close said the government had for a shutdown that big job loss. That I don't know. Right, we're supposed to. When is that happening here? The government shutdown tomorrow. Let's see. President Vance said the U.S. is heading toward a government shutdown because Democrats are holding up a spending deal to demand extensions for expiring health benefits. Yeah, there's that. There's something else in there. So we'll see. Andre says this channel is totally biased. BS. I'm done. Good luck. Unsubscribe. Well, I'm gonna be sad to see you go, right? But I wish you all the best. Have a great. I hope you do very well. I'll just leave it at that. SH. I listened to Slim conference call and to their CEO talking about their plans, and I wasn't impressed with them. I even called. They will dilute before it happened. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's different, obviously, varying viewpoints on the company there. All right, that's something. You stay very calm even when people call you names, teaching character along with minor info. Great stuff, Seb. I appreciate that. Right, we all can look. I'm always for this. I always say, I'm all for free speech and everything else. I'll protect your freedom of speech even if I don't agree with you. And just because we disagree doesn't mean I have to be nasty to you. We disagree. I mean, you have your viewpoints. I have my viewpoints, and we can still get along. I can still call you my friend and have you over for a drink. And we can discuss things. We can talk about them. It doesn't have to get heated, right? All right, Carl. Seb, sorry you are getting negative comments and you don't know why. You give great data. The average person doesn't have the time to gather otherwise. I appreciate that. Thank you. And from time to time it happens. I mean, it happens a lot more when things are going south on us, especially with like Bitcoin miners going down in the red, right? You start seeing those people coming out, your numbers are all BS, all this stuff. And it just kind of, it is what it is. It's not, you're not going to be able to time it perfectly. You're not going to be able to, see the future correctly in exact day and hours. But in the long run, this is kind of where I'm seeing where things will go. And it looks like they're planning out that way. It's just a longer time frame. The Sarah says the hate is uncalled for. The children need to leave. Like I said, everybody's open to their opinion, right? I'm not here to berate anybody or anything like that over it. Everybody has their opinions. That's fine. All right, Michael, China's factory activity declined extends to longest in 6 years. I didn't see that, so that's interesting. Let's see, Miha T, I hope a strategy, LOL. Not sure what that's replying to. D. Royce, thanks, Seb. You're very welcome. Thank you. Safrel, I'm hoping for Hive at 10 by November. Hive, where's Hive right now? $4 something, right? Where is it at? Hive, almost $4, $3.85. It was at $4 something. $10 by November. I mean, that's obviously in line with them getting to 25 exahash rate. That should help them out. And then any positive news that we do get on them, they should run up as well for HPCI, right? So that wouldn't be too bad. Here's Hive right now. Yeah, it's had a nice run up here as well. A lot of these guys have had a nice run up here, which is nice to see over the last 2 years that we've dealt with. Let's see. All right, let's see. D-Royce. I listen to Seb every day and make my own decisions. Yeah, that's right. I'm giving you guys my own interpretations, my own thoughts on things. Right? You guys I always tell you guys, do your own due diligence, right? Not financial advice is always for entertainment, basically. But you guys have to make your own decisions on that stuff. All right. Tom Harrison, question, Seb, you have thick skin. You take slings and arrows like it's nothing. Great self-esteem you have. I appreciate that. And that's, big thing for me on that was I read a great book, a couple great books actually. The one that comes to mind right now is How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? You want to listen to people more so than you talk yourself. Obviously, about doing this show, I got to do more of the talking, but here, I try to get to your guys' questions as much as possible. And then the other one was, about a postman. What was that title of the book? That was another great one. The postman was like a postman for 30 years in one area, and he had all these people that have known him and all this stuff in the community, and how you work, how you do things to others more so than you do for yourself, basically, is the gist of it, something like that. So there's some great books also. My parents have been great in teaching me to be respectful to others as well, whether we agree or not. So it all ended up in me here. All right. Sufferell, which miner has the worst management team? Wow. Well, define worst management team in what regard? Are we talking about outrageous stock-based compensation and salaries? There could be a couple of those here. When we're talking about operations, things like that, there could be a couple of there as well. So it just all depends on which one you're talking about. Okay, let's see. Mark says, Andre, Soluna is too risky. It has small market cap. Why don't you get it? If you want to hold it, just hold it. Yeah. All right, DeFi Soluna, 100 million credit secured. 1 gigawatt milestone hit. Gladys, 150 megawatts wind, and Faye, 100 megawatts solar. Caddy, 166 megawatts started. Dorothy, 232 megawatts live. Real progress, not hype. Yeah, but how many? I'd have to look again. I don't know how much is actually energized right now and what they can get those to. I know a lot of those sites can be grown to those, but I'm not sure what they have currently right now on the line. Gary says, question: Soluna has been a great trade, but it's only up 18% year to date and down 30% for the last year. Hardly life changing. Well, so far more a case of high tide rising all boats. Time will tell. That could be also possibly what's going on there. All right. Michael, Etha, what about all of the ETF that deal with all the coins that can climb much more when earnings isn't a problem? You're talking about I'm not sure we're talking about the ETFs. Is that an ETF there? The ETHA, is that an ETF? I'm not sure on that one. Let's see. Ethereum Treasury Company. Okay. Sinshi, question. Man, I am so tempted to sell a big bag of something to roll over profits and buy Backed while it's still low. Well, obviously, Backed is doing really nicely because of Mike Alfred's, right, joining the board there. Yeah, Sinshi, Mike Alfred, and the new CEO seem to have some big plans. It does appear that way, right? So if you got into it, we'll see. I mean, right, Mike has been pretty right on a lot of these things here. So if you have the cash to do it, might not be a bad idea to take a position in Backed as well and see where they go. I mean, their market cap is also not that big right now. All right. Let's see. Telly P says, Andre, you're a hater. Well, we just disagree on the things, right? He has a passion for Soluna. Me, not so much so. And, the passion sometimes can take the better part of a person sometimes. But all good. Shinshi, Andre, if you got 20x, then why the anxiety? Relax, dude. Get a joint or a drink. Okay. Marcus, good good day to miners. Marcus, good day to miners. Yes, today was a great day. Sorry, Andre's wife hits him. Well, we don't know that. And I don't think anybody should be hitting anybody. Shinshi, Andre, what is your thoughts on Backed? What's your price target on that one? Okay. I think Andre's gone, it seems like. Let's see. Gary Pallet says, Seb has been consistent. He follows stocks who do monthly reports and hit a minimum size. That is true, yeah. Right. I think my minimum was 5 exahash last year. I'm probably going to up that up to 10 exahash going into next year as well. They got to be a certain size or they're not going to be able to make it, I think. Sarmelon Gaming, $100 Iren. That'd be awesome. Shinshi, Sarmelon, don't be mean. And Andre's wife. Andre's wife. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see if I can pronounce this. Good. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. Ciphered Iren price targets much higher. Iren, I think this should be somewhere probably between $65 and $75 at the current price, right? Maybe even higher than that. Cipher should be up also higher from where it's at right now, somewhere around probably the 20s on that one. All right. Shinshi's got a question to Andre. Come back. We just started having fun. Yeah, I think Andre's gone. DeFi Jim Kramer says to buy crypto. Damn, we should sell soon. Yeah, do the opposite of what Kramer says there. What else we got here? Trying to catch up all the questions. Okay, DeFi BT. BitDigital has fallen 10% after hours following the announcement of a proposed offering of 100 million in convertible notes in order to fund exahash purchases. SMH just by BMNR. Yeah, it's fallen. Again, we'll see how that works out for them for being an Ethereum treasury company there. All right, Andrea, sorry. I think Seb deserves big likes tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tom. Seb is a benevolent, not malevolent. Yeah. God's will over to you. Seb is a perfect example of resilience and determination. Well done, boss. Appreciate that. Thank you. DeFly, this is epic Ethereum accumulation levels, 11.6 billion treasury to 2.65 million Ethereum tokens, 436 with cash, BMNR locked in for the cycle. Well done, fun strat. Yeah, we'll see how that one does also. Right, it had a huge pump on the news when Tom Lee got into it, and then it's been down here like a lot of these guys have been. Jimmy Forrest, LOL, you are very good with all your haters. Yeah, I mean, we just disagree. That's all. Sorry, Melon. Andre is a big baby. My God. Right. Some people just act differently. It's okay. Neil, I'm sorry. I'm Andre is a good song. I don't know that song. I don't think I know. I don't know that song. I'm Andre. What is it? Isn't there from Outcast? Wasn't there Andre 4000 or 2000? Was the person there? I can't remember. It was like Andre something. All right, Michael. Iren was cut to underweight from neutral, but the price target was increased to $24 from $16. Is that from JPM, I think? Let's see. BMSG at Mining Mafia is talking very frothy about Iren. Yes, he is. Let's see, Carl. Shut the government down. Do it. Maybe we can stop paying income tax during shutdown. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They'll get their income tax one way or another, unfortunately. Question, Seb. Who wins the World Series and who are you hoping wins? Okay, I'm not a big baseball fan. I'll be honest with you guys. For me, baseball, this is just my take, is a little too boring for me, right? Guy goes up to bat. He swings a couple times, hits the ball, and he runs. Okay. But there's just not that much. I like action, so I was into Bitcoin. I was into basketball, right? Especially when Jordan was playing, that was a great era to be in. I loved basketball at that time, and now I've gotten more into football, but baseball I just never got into it. All right, SWH. What impact on the market tomorrow U.S. government shutdown decision may have? I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. Maybe the markets go down a little bit here. We'll see. Or they go up because the government's not working. People, they won't be making any new laws. So they might actually go up. Let's see here. Yuri says, people need to stop giving Seb a hard time. That is my job, and I'm an old man, so get off my grass. Yeah, Gary, you tell him. You're the only one that can give me a hard time. DeFi, hearing NVIDIA is planning on launching their version of data center for computing. What will do this or Iren and companies like such? I don't know. Are they going to be selling their AI GPUs, data cloud to customers there? Is that what they're going in for? I would have to look into it some more. I don't know enough about that one. All right. Perfective. Fair value price on Mora, Bitfarms, Cleanspark, and Iren. Mara should be much higher right now. We can look at that one really quick. Let me see here. Pull that one up. Where is it at? Terrawolf. Oh, it's that one. Let's go in here. Mara. So Mara right now I think should be somewhere. Where's the browser? There it is. Between 1945 and 2918. Right? That's that one. Iren I think should be somewhere between 52 and 78. See, Cleanspark somewhere between 24 and 36. Cipher between 15 and 22. And what was the other one? Bitfarms. Bitfarms I have over here, I think. Yeah, Bitfarms I have on this one. Somewhere between 310 and 464. Right, so that's kind of where I see those at right now. And obviously they're not currently at 312. They're at $2 something. This hasn't been updated yet. But that's kind of where I see things, where at least they should be. All right, let's go back here. All right. SH, could Bitfarms surprise us and decide to increase to 25 exahash while waiting on? No, I don't think they would. For one, it would be obviously cash that they would have to spend on those machines, which I don't think they want to do, especially since they're trying to get more into HPCI. So I do not see that happening here. All right, Brody, Bitfarms price, best guess at BTC 150,000, probably around like $350, $4, maybe somewhere around there. JR, Iren finally coming to their IPO price that I bought at lunch. Okay, so you got back into, when was that? 2021, right? 2021. Fortunately, I kept buying down to $2 to $3 as well, but I was about 2 years too early for Iren and had too much faith in Bitfarms bags. Okay, so yeah, I was looking at Iren as well in 2022 after they IPO'd. Was keeping track of them, right? If you recall. Obviously, 2022 was a bear market for us, and then Iren had those special purpose vehicles that they couldn't pay for because Bitcoin price came down, so they had to get rid of around 3 exahash. And I was actually looking to buy into them at that point, but I decided to wait to see how they bounce back from them. And then we waited through basically 2023 and finally got into them in 2024 when they started announcing, right, they're getting 10 exahash, then 20, 30. I'm like, okay, I got to get into these guys because these are definitely growing here quite nicely here, and they're actually executing on that stuff. So that's kind of when I got into them. Let's see. Why is Hive undervalued? Thank you, sir. From Shervin. The reason, okay, my only guess on that is because they don't have any operations in the United States. That's the only thing I can think of why they are undervalued. Otherwise, operationally, they're doing great. Yes, there's been dilution in the company. Yes, that's a fact. They have been growing very nicely to 20 exahash now, 20 some exahash, and they're getting 25 exahash by the end of basically November here this year. So they've had a lot of great growth, which is one of the things I harped on them a long time ago last year, was not being ambitious enough in growing their exahash, which they have done this year. So that's great. But again, the only reason I can think of is they're mostly Canadian based. They have operations in Argentina, I believe, Argentina, Paraguay, one of those two, and then Iceland, I believe, as well, and Sweden maybe, and Canada. So they got operations north and south, but nothing in the middle for the United States. I think that might be the only thing that's keeping them back. All right, let's see. Nimrod, these guys who's bashing him, why are you in here? If you can do better, open your own channel. He's giving his opinion. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's the freedom, right? All right. Let's see, do you see Riot reaching 30? Yeah, depending on the time frame, right? If give it a couple months, maybe half a year or something like that. I see it getting to 30. All right, Neil. Okay, I left a link to the song called Andres from the group L7. Okay, that group I do not know. All right, Parvin, question. With HPCI, what are the components which are most valued? Power, infrastructure, location. How are each miner rated per each component? Oh, that's a good question. Power is a big thing. The second thing would be obviously location, connectivity to the internet, fiber basically, redundancies on those things. That's typically what's been required out of these guys here, right? And then Iren's case, they're building out their own cloud for customers. And in the past, it was mostly on power, connectivity, obviously then infrastructure as a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 data centers. There's a lot that go into it. It's not that simple. A lot of the sites that we do have currently with the miners, we also don't know how much of a potential they have to become HPCI sites. So that's not easy to tell right now, right? And depending on, are they building out a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 data center? We don't know. So unfortunately, that's not an easy one to answer there. All right. Okay, Mystic, why are you here trying to bash him? These are his opinions. If you can do better, open your own channel. Okay. All right. We're just going to we're going to finish up on Andre. We're not going to talk about him anymore. If he comes back and asks a question, we'll obviously talk about it then. Carl, take this as a compliment, please. You are like Mr. Rogers of Miners Data YouTube channel. I appreciate that. I love Mr. Rogers, right? I try to keep it PG. I know that some of you guys have kids watching with you as well. Hopefully they should be in bed by now, depending where your time zone is. But I try to keep it PG for the most part, and yeah, have a good time. God's will Odie, Andre said, please be nice. Seb is extremely exceptional. He's 1,000 times better than most of the guys you'll find on X. And if some other places, he deserves a lot of credit, so show some respect. Okay, well, he doesn't have to show me respect, right? Respect is earned, and hopefully I've earned your respect in that regard. But yeah, people will disagree, and that's fine. As long as he doesn't threaten me or threaten you guys or anything like that, more than welcome to come here and have an opinion. All right, Sinchi, I want to be like you, brother, Seb, when I grow up. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Perfecta 3000. Was that Andre 3000? Shishi, thank you, Seb. You're very welcome. Freddie, between Cleanspark, Hive, and Bitfarms, which of the three do you think has the highest chance to 2.5x from here in order from most to least? Okay. I would say Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Hive. Because Cleanspark has a lot of capital, right? They got 1.3, 1.4 billion in Bitcoin. They can utilize that to build out their HPC if they wanted to. They got a nice site in Atlanta. Georgia as well. And Bitfarms would be a second after that because I think their Pennsylvania site is really good, but that might not be until sometime 2026, 2027 there, unless they get something here now signed for that, maybe. And then after that would be Hive. So that's kind of the way I would go. All right. Guys, what he says, how to win friends and influence people is written, yes, but if Seb has read that, then he's got my respect. Anyone to take a Seb is taking us. Got your back. I got your back, boss Seb. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great book. I highly recommend it. I always tell people that I hire on where I work, right? That's one of the things I tell them. Go out and read that book. It's a great book. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I think it's just a fantastic book. It should be, given out to people when they get hired on it. All right. Carl, DFly, hearing similar on NVIDIA data center based on photonics processors and power for low cost mentioned yesterday. All right. There's that term again, photonics. So I got to look into that photonics processors as well. I got to look into that. All right. Daniel, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Gary, let's see. I love those Iren stock price SPVs. The market read it as negative and crashed the price when it allowed them to get brand new miners at cheaper costs. I got in at $1.15 and 100 million in market cap. That's awesome. Yeah, I was a little worried about the SPVs right at that point. I'm like, man, they're giving them a 3 exahash at that point. That was a lot actually. Going back to 2022, that was a lot of exahash at that point. But yeah, it worked out in their favor, didn't it? Yeah. All right. Michael, BitQ holds a number of notable crypto miners such as Iren and CORZ, in addition to exchanges like Coinbase Global, over 444 million of assets. BitQ, that's an ETF for the miners, yeah. All right. MDMD, hey Seb, sorry I just joined your live stream late. Have you done any further analysis on Rigetti or D-Wave? I have not. Have dipped a tiny bit. Please post your findings. Okay. That is something I'm going to be working on this weekend, or this week actually. Today, we had a family member that had a birthday, so I attended that. I didn't have much time. I had my son's soccer practice as well. So today I did absolutely nothing as far as research is concerned. But I'll try to get something going here later on this week and look at those. I think I have those written down. Do I have those written down? Let me write those down really quick. Rigetti, and I've heard of D-Wave. I've actually read some stuff on D-Wave. Right, you get also Google in there as well for the quantum computing, which I think they've had the most success so far, but I have to look at the other ones as well. All right, I think that's it. We're going to call it a day here. We're going on an hour, 15 minutes. I got one more coming from Freddie here. Let's see. What does Freddie have? Come on, pop it up here. There it is. Okay, Freddie. Does your spreadsheet say that Cleanspark, Bitfarms, and Hive are undervalued? Can you show us the range? Cleanspark, Bitfarms, and Hive. Yes, I can show that to you really quick as well. So here's Bitfarms, right? Bitfarms price needs to get updated here. So let me see here. Where's it at? Browser. All right. So this is showing current stock price of 312, right? This is a little outdated. It's like $2 and something right now, $2.60, whatever it is. So they are still undervalued in my opinion, right? I have them between 310 and 464. The other one was Cleanspark and Hive. Cleanspark is undervalued in my opinion. $24 to $36 should be somewhere around there. And then lastly, Hive here, somewhere between 8 and 13, right? That's with a pretty discount on the PE, down to 10 compared to the other ones that are 15. So yeah, they're under, right? So take it for what it's worth, right? I've been saying some of these guys have been undervalued for a long time, and the market didn't think so. So we were in the red for a while there. All right, Michael, let's see here. What do you know about ASST deal on merger or Bitcoin? I don't know anything about that one. Daniel, thank you so much for the super chat. Is Cleanspark going to shoot up to 25 soon? It's how soon? Within the next couple months? I think so. All right. Let's see. Question 7. Are you getting famous? Do people notice you on the street or the soccer game you attend? No. I mean, there's only really a couple thousand of you guys that are watching. Most of you guys are, spread out all over the world. So, no. And I don't want to get famous. I want to be able to still enjoy my life, be able to go outside without, if I get approached, I get approached, right? I'm not going to be mean to anybody or anything like that, but yeah. All right. Let's see. Mark, how do you get time, man, to look after family and work and YouTube? Well, I don't spend time watching TV. So you take away that TV time or, BS time for wasting time basically, and you put it into these things like doing research and things like that. And I actually find them more enjoyable than watching TV. Sometimes, I'll watch a movie every once in a while. If a good movie I want to watch, but it's not like I watch sitcoms or anything like that. That's just a waste of time, in my opinion, at least. All right, MD, is there a world where one of the major hyperscalers like Google or Broadcom, et cetera, actually buy out, hostile takeover those undervalued miners, i.e. Cleanspark, for their infrastructure and energy? Well, I mean, we are seeing that happen with CoreWeave, right? Buying out CORZ Scientific. I think the next up might be Applied Digital with CoreWeave. And I think the possibility of Google buying out TeraWolf potentially, and Cipher now, because they have deals with FluidStack there, that they might go in and try and take him over. Might. I don't know if they can't do anything because the contract's there, but I mean, CoreWeave had a contract with CORZ Scientific and they still went in after them. So I don't know. But that's kind of where I would think things would go. So Michael says Strive, ASST, and Similar Scientific Inc. Announced Bitcoin Treasury merger in all stock. Okay, so that was like, last week I think it was, wasn't it? Let's see. Gary says, I remember Seb selling in autograph at the Bitcoin convention for 250, or was that Trump? I get the famous people mixed up. Yeah, that's definitely not me. I think I would have to pay people to have put my signature on their stuff. Tim Harrison, last comment. I think Strive is Vivek Raman. Yes, I believe that's correct. But that was from like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. All right, we got to go because it's 11 o'clock here. I got to get to sleep, get some rest. Got to go to work tomorrow. End of the month, we got inventory, so that's going to be fun. So it's going to be another long day tomorrow. All right, but that's it. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. We'll see where we end up for tomorrow for end of September. We'll see if the government shuts down. We'll see what that's going to look like for the markets and everything else at that point. All right, love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then,